different situations and circumstances. Honorable Sodo contested with Honorable Shatsi in the NRM primaries in 2020. I think a meeting was held between them and the president, and it was decided then that Sodo would step down and Shatsi would be the MP from Ogola North. I think that was the position. And in as far as I understand, with the promise that come 2026, it would be Sodo to be the MP for Ogola North. But I think mid-course, Honorable Shatsi wanted to continue as MP. And at the same time, Honorable Sodo Aine also insisted that it was now his turn. Whether Shatsi agrees or not, they will tussle it out. And I think since the president is the one who brokered that arrangement, that peace deal in 2020, he was duty-bound to intervene this time round, to tell those concerned to stick to their part of the bargain. Now, as far as Remiag is concerned, by 2020 there was no entity, nobody like in the setting as it is now. General Rwashande was not in place and was not an active activist in Remiag. He wasn't interested, at least, and he wasn't there even. He was not in Remiag then. He's just a recent development. It's just a recent development. He just came recently himself, so he can't be part of the bargain of the 2020s. But as to whether it would apply to Remiaga, who knows? Who knows? Myself, I'm not bothered. I'm moving on. I've not appealed to the president, but I think it is in the interest of the NRM to harmonize and have peace in Remiag, because Remiaga borders Ogola North. We are the neighbors of Ogola North. Similar situations, similar circumstances, similar players. I think someone up there would be interested in reining in on the protagonists. But to me, I've not heard of any step by the president. But what has been shown in Ogola North, I think the president can pick a cue from there and even invite us.
So if the president invites you tomorrow for a meeting to have Haman and Remiaga, will you offer yourself?
The president is the chairman of the NRM. He's the chairman of my party. He's the fountain of honor. And as you've said, he's the president. Whenever an invitation is gotten from him, it is a must for me to attend. I would love to attend. Indeed, I would attend. But I would look at the circumstances and what conditions and what arrangement, agreement is being put forward.
But now, deciding these boardroom decisions, you are a fighter of human rights. Why don't you people be left to decide instead of this, like denying them a chance to have an MP who is a woman now? They cannot have her. Now the decision has been made.
Certainly I get your point and I understand your feelings. But this is a matter that is decided upon by individuals themselves. It isn't a matter of referendum for people to decide. The president has a bearing on the two protagonists, and once with that in mind, he was petitioned. I remember Honorable Sam Kutesa petitioned the president to intervene. On many occasions, the Honorable Sam Kutesa was on the president's case, wanting the president to intervene. And indeed, he did intervene. And lastly, they are more closely related. That one, you put it in mind. A fight, a total fallout would not be the best option. at least among the principal actors. But this side, it's different. This side, it's like any other place in the country. The president can choose to intervene or not. It's not really a must for him to do so.
But finally, last week.
The reason I'm here, I'm trying to find out under what circumstances did the Electoral Commission of NRM endorse General Rwashande to contest. How did they clear him? But now that one would take us to the National Council for Higher Education, which gave him the equivalent with all the glaring loopholes. Only that the two institutions, the National Council for Higher Education is headed by a Professor Kwakol. And the NRM Electoral Commission is chaired by a Professor, Dr. Tango Doi. I wonder why they have bad heart for this country. Because for them, they know the value. At least they should be the vanguards of academic excellence. Now for them to condone with what they know to be untrue is what is baffling. There are a lot of inconsistencies in the equating process. How do you equate, for God's sake, papers that from the face of the record is faulty? Papers with different names, papers with wrong facts. Even if Dr. Tango Doi is bent on the clearance by National Council for Higher Education, but for him to be presented a certificate of UPDF, of his certificate of 1982, yet there are matters of judicial notice where everybody knows that indeed, as far as UPDF is concerned, there was no UPDF talk about in 1982. It was PRA, then NRA, until after the 1995 Constitution. So even if Dr. Tango Doi was bound by the clearance by National Council of Higher Education, at least that would be enough to tickle his conscience as a professor. But nonetheless, they are in positions of authority, they are discharging their role, and it is now my turn to follow up those inconsistencies, and I tear and bring down that facade of papers.
You're going to court?
No, before you go to court, there is the internal process. I'm dragging General Rwashande before the NRM Electoral Commission Hearing Committee, Disputes and Settlement Committee. He has to first explain himself there. Then after, I can take him to court if I'm not satisfied. But I don't think he can survive that. I don't think he will survive.
Local exercise. Tugasse. Aishu. Bw'ogipata mwe bategeera.
Era ngitulidde nga tebala kwekugira.
Electoral Commission nga regulatory body erina okulaba nti eyimiriza ensaasaanya y'essente naddala mu kalulu kati nga campaigns fundraising saawa zino ogenda okulaba omuntu eyeesimbyewo buli ssinziro limuyise buli kibiina kimuyise basonda ssente simanyi zaggula byuma zaggula ntebe zakuzimba bandibadde bayimiriza campaigns kubanga yemu ku makubo fundraisings yemu ku bakubo abeesimbyewo lye bakozesa okusaasaanya ensimbi mu kiseera ky'akalulu.
Maybe briefly that in English.